part two of ranking devil fruit powers. Now, before anybody sees this and thinks that maybe my list is just trash, which it is just opinion, I want to reiterate that I am basing my ranking off what I think is just more useful to have. So, for example, the Ripple Ripple fruit being in Yonko tier, I think that this is a devil fruit that would be useful to have because you could just take anything and basically turn it into like paper. And then that goes for like all these devil fruits up here. I just think overall they are extremely useful to have. Compared to like these devil fruits here, you wouldn't really need them. And then I also have the don't remember much of tier because my memory isn't the greatest, and I feel like if there is a devil fruit I just don't remember that much about, then it doesn't really give me that impression that it was that great of a fruit anyways. So I also rearranged some stuff here on just getting some devil fruits just out of the way, so it's not another 30-minute ranking video and me just yapping. The wheel fruit, I'm just gonna put that in fodder just because it just seems trash. The rust fruit, this is also another thing that I'm gonna put as fodder because a lot of people don't really even use blades all that much, and even then it's just not that useful. I feel like the pocket fruit, now I'm actually going to put this I feel like I'm gonna put this probably like warlord just because you can kind of like just store anything. So I feel like it's not fodder, but it's not like that great either. You still need to be physically capable, but you can also just store anything. So I feel like it deserves Warlord. The Garb fruit or Kinemon's fruit, to be honest, I'm just gonna say it's fodder. It really isn't that useful. Same with the Cream fruit. I think it's fodder. And then even with the Cage fruit, since there's like nothing in between Warlord and fodder, I mean, I don't think it's definitely not up in this area, so I just have to put it as fodder. It won't really like it's not gonna do anything against anybody capable, so yeah, fodder. The dice fruit, there really should be another tier. I feel like I'm gonna make I'm gonna make another tier, which I probably should have did this like a while ago, but okay, that's not what I wanted. I can't remember what the color of fodder was, but I wanted to change the color for this tier here. I'll just make it gray, and I'll just put okay, so it's good, not bad, and then I'll just put the cage fruit here, and then dice there, just because these devil fruits, I mean the dice fruit isn't gonna work on someone like Zoro currently. It's not gonna work on anybody good or capable and can use hockey. Um, the cage fruit is also not gonna really do anything against anybody capable, but I don't think that they're completely fodder. They have actual use. And again, if you didn't see the other video, the part one for this, the glare fruit might have controversy potentially, but the reason why I put it in fodder is simply because of observation hockey. So I just don't think it's that useful, especially when a character can get their observation hockey to the point of seeing into the future. The slip fruit, also fodder. Spike fruit, fodder. The com fruit, I would say that the com fruit is also an okay fruit because it actually has some use. It could even be Warlord of the Sea fruit actually. But you can't really. I don't think it would be worthy of Warlord just by itself. So for the fruit on its own, it's gonna be in the okay tier. The so fruit, I'd also say for the most part it's probably fodder. It's only useful with Leo just because of how small he is. but if anyone else was to have it, it would be fodder, so I'm going to keep it in fodder. The Tone fruit, I would say, it's probably okay because it at least has some use. Just being able to turn your body into an instrument, it at least has some form of a use. The ripe fruit, I would also say it's okay. Push fruit, I'll actually say that this could probably be a warlord level fruit. We haven't seen a whole lot, but the fact that you can kind of just like manipulate the ground, like the entire environment, I would say it's probably warlord. Kilo fruit, this is another fruit that I'm gonna say is fodder. And yeah, you can go up from like 1 to 10,000 kilos in weight, but it's really not that useful, especially now there's characters that 10,000 kilos just ain't probably it probably ain't even gonna do anything. The ring fruit, this is another fruit I want to say fodder because against a capable person, I don't see Smoothie being able to really do anything with this devil fruit power. But it still is really strong when using it, so I'll just put it in okay for now. The millet fruit, I'm actually going to put this devil fruit. I want to put this devil fruit warlord, not gonna lie, because of the fact that you can tame any animal, which includes animal human hybrids. But at the same time, I'm thinking of like overall usefulness, and I don't really think that there's like that many animal human hybrids. I don't think it can work on zone animal type double for users either. Well, it can, like the artificial ones, I believe, but that's because they kind of just like straight up turn into an animal, like a half hybrid animal. But I would just put it in okay for now. The Twinkle fruit, I'm gonna put this devil fruit in warlord just because you can just turn your entire body into diamond. So I think that is more useful than the rest of these devil fruits. Shadow fruit. Obviously, I could put it warlord just because of Gecko Moria, but at the same time, I'm also thinking about putting it Yonko level just because of what you can do with the shadow. I think it's probably deserving of. It's obviously deserving of warlord, but I think it could go Yonko. So I might come back to that. Not 100% sure, but it is extremely useful. You can make an entire shadow army, pretty much cover things in shadows, and you can empower yourself in shadows. I think you can even teleport with shadows, if I remember correctly. So I'm actually just gonna put it Yonko. The pump fruit, it's an okay. Oh wait, what the heck? It's an okay devil fruit. It's useless by itself, and it's only really useful, obviously, to rally up people. So I'd say it's an okay fruit. Now the cook fruit. I actually think that this is probably a Yonko fruit, just because you can literally turn anything to any food, and that's pretty useful. Being able to just turn anything into any type of food, even though Sanji still was a better cook than the guy that actually had this devil fruit. I forgot his name already. But next is the scroll fruit, and I feel like this is also probably going based on how I'm doing things. I'd say it's a Yonko level fruit. Now again, the cook fruit, I'll actually just put it warlord. It's not that crazy, but it has a really good use, so I'll put it warlord. Scroll fruit is very useful though, and you can contain basically anything in the scrolls and kind of just carry it on you like a pocket dimension. So clone fruit, this one is definitely a warlord level fruit in my opinion. It has extreme use, being able to clone anybody that you touch. Perfect imitation. So I would say that it's Warlord level. It's better. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say better. Again, the main thing that I'm basing this off of is overall usefulness on top of what we have seen the fruit capable of doing. So capability and usefulness are the two main criteria that I'm basing this off of, and I think that the clone fruit has better overall usefulness than the rest of these fruits. The Mark fruit, I would say that the Mark fruit, I would actually say is fodder, not gonna lie. And my reasoning for this is because once you mark a person, if your hand that marked said person touches another person even on accident, then that previous person's unmarked. And yeah, you can kind of just be anywhere, or we don't know if there's like a range, but you can be basically anywhere and have aimbot and just throw anything and go find them. But against a capable person, you're never gonna really hit them. You could throw as much as you want, you're never gonna really hit them. So I would say it's pretty fodder. There's no other use for it, and you can really only target people that you know for sure are incapable. So now the memory fruit, I want to say that this is a Yonko level fruit, but I'm going to say Warlord level fruit. But it can be better. The reason why I'm saying that is just because the memory fruit is really good, but it's only really good in conjunction with basically like a crew. So the Big Mom Pirates essentially. Because by itself, you're probably not going to really be able to get somebody to alter their memories unless again they're incapable. So I'm going just reiterating, basing this completely off of capability and usefulness. So if the person, like Pudding, can get their hands on someone, then it is a really, really good devil fruit. But we've already seen that she's gotten kidnapped by the Blackbeard pirates already. So this it's proving my point. Without anybody really backing a memory fruit user up, it's not really that useful. The fire fruit. This is also Warlord level, potentially Yonko level, but I'm just gonna say Warlord level for now. There's not really nothing that needs to be said. It's just fire, and there's not a whole lot of characters that are gonna be able to really do much against fire. The Love fruit, also Warlord level, which I kind of just like gave up on putting this in like a specific order because there's so many of them. But the Love fruit, very useful. We've seen what it can do. It can make people love you, and then it can turn you into stone. So I would say it's still worthy of Warlord level. Now the Snow fruit. I actually think that the Snow fruit should be in Warlord level, but it could be higher than that. And maybe on Punk Hazard it kinda was showing it, but I don't think it showed it exactly how I'm thinking right now. But I'm thinking that it could be really, really good if you can use this fruit to create full-on blizzards. And if you can do that, then I think it would be even better of a fruit. And I don't think that it would be impossible to do that. Maybe you had to awaken the devil fruit, um, but it is a Logia, I believe. So we haven't really seen any Logia awakenings. So I would say it's Warlord. The mirror fruit, I'm actually gonna put the mirror fruit in Yonko level, just randomly up here. It doesn't really matter. It's extremely useful and capable. And I mean, even the user can just create mirrors out of nowhere. And not only can you create mirrors out of nowhere and reflect other people, but of course you can traverse through the mirror dimension and just travel anywhere in the world that a mirror exists. So deserving of Yonko. The Mochi fruit, I'm gonna be honest, since we know what Luffy's actual true devil fruit is, we haven't seen the fullness of it. That's the main reason why I have the Gum fruit up in Pirate King. But for just straight up Mochi, I'm gonna put this in the okay. I just think that we haven't seen an insane amount of it, obviously. Uh, but I don't think it's as useful as the ones above it. The heat fruit. Now this is actually kind of odd to me because I've always been a little confused on the heat fruit with oven because in the anime when they're leaving Big Mom's territory, you have oven heating up the ocean. But I always thought that that didn't really make much sense because every other devil fruit user, even if they just get splashed by a little bit of ocean water, they basically become extremely weak for like a little bit. Like I know on Punk Hazard, when Smoker tapped Luffy with his Sea Prism tipped cane or staff or whatever the heck, when he just tapped him, Luffy immediately felt drained and weak. And I know that this was before uh they went to well before Whole Cake Arc, so you could maybe make the argument that Luffy was just weaker. But it still doesn't make sense to me that Oven was able to just start heating up and then put his hands in the ocean and yet was still able to use his powers and he didn't get weak from it and his powers didn't get drained from him. So that was always kind of odd to me. Maybe that I don't know if that happened exactly in the manga because I didn't read Whole Cake, but I don't know. Maybe it's a plot hole. Kind of just ranting. Anyways, I think that the heat fruit is an okay tier. It's not fodder. It has usefulness. Apparently it can negate being weak in ocean water, but yeah, I would say it's overall it's just overall okay. The pawpaw fruit, I think that the pawpaw fruit is deserving of. I mean, I could just throw it Warlord, but a part of me is thinking maybe Yonko level. But again, I need to actually stick to my criteria. It's very capable and it's very useful. Now, some of these devil fruits are just more capable than they are useful. Like the Magnet fruit, more capable than useful. The Stone fruit is a mixture of both because there's stone everywhere. Venom fruit's just more capable. I would say, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna move the. I shouldn't be changing them, but I'm just gonna. I'm gonna move the Venom fruit to Warlord, and then the Pawpaw fruit. This is really tough because I feel like there's a lot of. Nah, I'm putting it. I'm putting it Yonko. I don't really care. Uh, I feel like it's way more useful than pretty much all of these devil fruits. The slow fruit. I actually think that the slow fruit is deserving of Warlord if it's used correctly, because there's not really much you can do about it. If you get hit by a slow beam, there isn't really much you can do about it. Now, obviously, if you're faster than Foxy, then you probably won't get hit. But overall, I still think that it's a really good Devil Fruit. And on top of that, we know that it can bounce off mirrors. So imagine if you could bounce it off just an extremely large mirror. You could probably hit a bunch of people with it. So I think in general, a lot of capability and a lot of usefulness. The op fruit. Now here's what I'm gonna say. I want to put the op fruit in Pirate King. I really want to. Instead, which again I'm not really going based on like the far left is the most important, but for this case it is for the op fruit. The only reason why it's not Pirate King is simply because the op fruit has already been stated that it is essentially useless if it's not being used by a doctor. So if you are not somebody that understands medicine, it's a completely useless devil fruit. But it is still Yonko due to the fact that Law is a doctor and he knows how to use it. But that's the only reason why I can't put it Pirate King, just due to that massive limitation. It can also grant you immortality. So the Pop fruit, I'm gonna say that the Pop fruit is okay. Again, it's really not that insanely useful. You can really only do one thing, and that is rapturing just the environment or yourself. I wouldn't say it's that insanely useful. Now, it's capable of a lot of things, but not overall that useful. The Lick Lick fruit, I'm gonna put the Lick Lick fruit Warlord. It's a very, very useful fruit. You can use it to get on water. You can regenerate body parts with it. You can even just turn people into candy. So a very capable and useful devil fruit. The Castle fruit. This is also going to be a Warlord level devil fruit. You can just turn your entire body into a castle. I don't really have to say much about it. You can also give yourself wheels and just drive away. And you can have defense systems. You can have people inside of it. So it's just really useful and capable devil fruit. The Soul fruit. This is going to definitely be a Yonko level devil fruit. The only reason why it's not Pirate King in my criteria is because it has, I don't know if I'd really say a limitation, but more like a counter, and that is if you are not afraid of the user, then they cannot do anything with your soul. So that's the main reasoning, or the only reasoning why it's not a Pirate King level devil fruit in my opinion. The Swim fruit, to be honest, I mean, a part of me wants to say fodder just because it is, I don't know, like a goofy devil fruit, I guess. But I'll just put it in the okay. It's nothing too crazy. The clear fruit, this one's gonna be also kind of tough. I actually am kind of like stumped on where I should put the clear because a part of me is saying okay tier, another part saying warlord tier. It's really not that insanely useful. Uh, I don't think as much as some of the other ones are, or not that capable, but it still is really, really useful to have. Just going invisible, and obviously it's useful enough for Blackbeard to go for it. So you know what? I'm gonna actually put it far back Warlord level. It's definitely a dangerous devil fruit. The time fruit, I'm going to say that the time fruit. Hmm. Well, Toki obviously had to be able to see into the future in order to make the well, maybe not, because she was just the one that just chose what time they went to. Most likely just due to the Laugh Tale uh prophecy, I guess, or the statement of Joy Boy's return, and that's specifically why she just chose the 20-year time. But I'm just thinking, it is definitely a very, very good devil fruit. But I'm just gonna put it Warlord because I mean, we don't know if there's another devil fruit where it could focus on going back in time. I think that there could be, but I'll just put it Warlord. You can only go forward in time. It's still really good though. The Ton fruit, this is another one that I'm just gonna put in okay. I don't think it's fodder. It is better than the Kilo fruit. The Straw fruit, this is another one that I'm actually gonna put Yonko level. I think when used correctly, it is very useful and it's very capable. You could even give yourself more lives just by taking another person's life. So, in my opinion, I believe that that is a really, really useful devil fruit. The Wash fruit, again, fodder, in my opinion. The Revive fruit, I will say it's okay. I'm not going to say fodder just because Brook does have a use with the Revive fruit, being able to just pop out of his skeleton as a ghost. That's like the only saving factor of this fruit not being fodder, though. The Press fruit, this is a fruit that I am actually going to say is Yonko level because we've already seen Fujitora have an insanely massive amount of just things floating in the air in Dressrosa. So in the right hands, you can pretty much just cause a meteor shower. And that's only just by lifting things up. That's not by holding people down either. So I think it's deserving of Yonko. Gas fruit. I will say that overall it's I would say it's okay actually. Like I'm not gonna give it Warlord. It doesn't have an insane usefulness because I'm pretty sure even on Zoe, Caesar couldn't just clear it out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he just had a help chopper create a specific gas in order to counter the poison. So he couldn't have just turned into the specific poison. So I just think it's kind of mid actually. But I don't think it's as bad to go into fodder though. The Rumble fruit. I'm trying to remember. Rumble fruit. What does this do actually? Oh yeah, I remember now. Why does it show like ice though? It shows like snow behind it. Anyways, this is a Nels fruit, I believe. I mean, again, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's that crazy though. It's not one of the better Logias, the ice fruit or the chili fruit. I definitely think that this is deserving of Warlord. It's not Yonko, in my opinion, but it is a Warlord level Devil Fruit, especially with Kuzan as its wielder. But you could pretty much just you could just call it. I mean, he might be able to cause blizzards actually. Instead of the snow fruit being able to cause blizzards, it might be the ice fruit. But yeah, I think it's definitely Warlord level. Same with the magma. Now the magma fruit might actually go to Yonko here in the future, especially since uh we already seen what happened on Punk Hazard, and we know that Akainu was the victor of that fight. So I would say for now it's Warlord. The smoke fruit, I'm gonna say it's okay. Nothing insane. The swamp fruit, this is another one that I'm gonna say is okay, but if I was to just throw it in some random order, it'd be up here. Nothing too crazy. Caribou isn't that strong either, so if you can just end up hitting him, he spits everything out for the most part. But that's just like a per character basis. I would say that it's just okay. He can store things. Other than that, it's not. No, it's nothing special. Now the glint fruit or light fruit, that is also. I'm thinking if this should be Warlord or should be Yonko. I think it's kind of tough because the glint fruit, I think that it might just be better than the magma fruit, especially since at Egghead, the little like security system, the glint fruit is actually able to bypass that just due to sheer speed. So Borsellino can just bypass that. So I think I'm still gonna put it Warlord though. The Sand fruit, this is another one I'm gonna put it okay. The Dark fruit. Now this is another thing. And maybe it might be a little controversial. Probably not though. I feel like a lot of people will probably agree. But I'm putting it Pirate King. We haven't seen everything that the dark fruit can do. But some of the reasons why I'm basing it on being Pirate King is just due to the fact that we know it can steal devil fruits. That alone is something that we don't know if any other devil fruit can do. But we also know that Blackbeard planned to get his hands on this devil fruit for years. And Blackbeard, a lot smarter than what some people give him credit for. I definitely don't think he would have planned that long for the dark fruit for it to just be useless, obviously. I'm kind of just like ranting at this point. But again, with what we have seen and what we know, and the fact alone that it could take devil fruits, I think it's already worthy of Pirate King. And then we got a bunch of these, which I'm just going to finish a lot of these off. To be honest, actually, let me look through them. Human fruit, I'll put that in okay. The Phoenix fruit, I'll put that Yonko level because it can also auto heal. You can just heal people in general. The Buddha, we really haven't seen much of it, to be honest. Like, I don't think I can put it Yonko. Well, he kind of just like stood still. So I'll give it Yonko. Oh, excuse me. Everything else, besides Kaido's, I'll put Kaido's Yonko. Lucci's is probably a Warlord level. Nothing special. I mean, these devil fruits are kind of just like okay. The turtle devil fruit fodder, not gonna lie. The egg fruit, that's fodder. Alright, since I don't want the video to be too long, it's already over 30 minutes, which I didn't plan on doing. I'm kind of just going to end it here, because a lot of these devil fruits are kind of just like, it is what it is, I guess. Like the Momo fruit, that's an okay one. The rest, I feel like we haven't seen a insane amount. Like the Bison from Drum Island, that's an okay devil fruit. Like a lot of these are pretty much just okay, or potentially Warlord. There's none of these devil fruits in here that I'm gonna give Yonko level. Not at all. So that's gonna be the end of this video, and it's also gonna be the end of the ranking tier list for now. But next video that I'm making is going to be why I think Doflamingo is the most menacing villain currently in One Piece. But anyways, see you guys in the next video. Peace.